The Scouts. We're going to pivot to the Cavs here, and their top scout right now might be Donovan Mitchell. A report came out over the weekend from Mark Stein, who is as connected as anybody.
Mark's good.
And Steve, you can take tag board full, and Anthony gets the tag board back up ready. That said, Donovan Mitchell doesn't want the Cavs to trade Jarrett Allen because he doesn't want to lose him as a teammate. They're good friends off the court. They've made that very clear in numerous press conferences this season. And Mitchell, who is yet to sign an extension, wants to keep Jarrett Allen around. Jay, I want to start with you. We'll make our way down. Does a guy that has not signed an extension yet have enough power to tell the organization who they should and should not trade prior to signing said extension? Or does it not matter whatsoever in terms of how the Cavs are looking to build their roster moving forward?
Yeah, no, I don't think you give that power to a guy that hasn't given you a commitment. That's like letting your girlfriend pick out the house you're going to live in when you're married. Like,
wow, that is kind of, dang, I see why that didn't work. Go ahead.
It is. I mean,
that is.
When you're renting, you don't go shopping for carpet.
Yeah, you're right.
And when he wants to go all in, I'll give him say. I'm not going to let him have complete roster construction say. I'm going to let him weigh in on the coach. I'm going to let him weigh in on Jarrett Allen. I'm going to let him weigh in on Darius Garland. But I'm not going to let him sit back and say, I want this coach, Allen stays, Garland goes, give me this player. There's really one guy that you would give that power to. And we lived it in Cleveland on 2 different occasions. His name's LeBron James. Jimmy Donovan made a great point before he left. He said, why are we giving Donovan Mitchell the keys to the castle? Where's his trophies?
Trophies.
What's he won? Like, so I understand that there has to be deals made before you can maybe get him to make his commitment. As management, you have to figure out what are deal breakers and what are things that we have some flexibility on. I would hope that that Donovan Mitchell wouldn't say to the Cavs, you keep Jarrett Allen or I'm leaving. I mean, I just don't see him being that way. I don't.
Why would you die on that hill?
No kidding.
That ain't
like there are hills to die on, that ain't it.
And then I would then question, do you really want to win? I
right.
mean, like,
do you want to be friends and you want to have your friend room with you or do you want to win?
Like, you're supposed to get over that in college. Like
right.
Like that. Like,
it's just like Bo Naylor and Josh Naylor. Like, I know that as the Guardians are giving some consideration for what they're going to do with Josh or Bo, they have to consider Josh. But at some point, you got to do what's best for the 25, not 1 or 2.
I'd think about it. I'll put it to you like this. Now, listen, Mark Stein said that he thinks he's going to sign the contract, right?
Yes.
He did say he thinks he's going to resign.
Okay, if they got some sort of assurances and they think he's going to sign the contract, here's what I would say. If we're going to keep Jarrett Allen, I'm going to let you know something right now.
Uh-oh.
You're going to take ownership of that. You're gonna hold that. And just because we keep him don't mean we starting him. Jarrett Allen will be coming off the bench because we can't play him and Evan Mobley together. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
Yeah.
So your boy can stay in town. Y'all can go have Chipotle or order pizzas together. That's great. But he gonna be coming off this bench because I need to get like that's not gonna happen, bro. But you notice he didn't say Darius Garland though. See, the people they're wishing to be funny. You notice there wasn't no Darius Garland.
Well, I mean, when it comes to Jarrett Allen, I mean, being friends and having that chemistry is cool, right? Chemistry is a part of what makes teams successful.
You'd rather players have it than not.
But with that being said, I hope that Donovan Mitchell's priority in keeping Jarrett Allen is because he was the second most productive Cleveland Cavalier throughout the entire regular season on the roster last year. Let it be because he fits what you're trying to do long term and because he's a good player, not because y'all got a personal relationship.
Right.
We all got personal relationships. If our career took us different paths, those personal relationships still will remain healthy. I think Jarrett Allen is a damn good player. You know, when Jason wrote that phenomenal article and it talked about players inside the organization, or people, should I say, inside the organization, feeling some type of way that he didn't attempt to at least try to play against Boston. I remember I came out here and said, well, you know what, if people feel that way, then you need to move on. And I guess the point I'm making is Donovan Mitchell feelings can't be the only feelings that matter here. Because there's other people within the organization.
be the team.
There's other people that's on this team, right?
Do we know, is Jarrett Allen still day-to-day? Is he going to play the opener in October?
Damn, Jay. Come on, Jay.
Where are we on that?
Dang, bro. Dang, it's summertime, man.
Where are we on that? Are the ribs healed?
That's crazy. That was crazy. By the way, let me spin it this way. What if in an alternate universe, it was not even a Darius Garland thing? What if he's saying, listen, what if the Cavs went to him and said, look, we got Jarrett Allen, we could probably keep him or we move him, but we can also move Evan Mobley. And if we move Evan Mobley, we can get a whole lot more for Evan Mobley.
It would be real telling to me. You'd have to give him truth serum. He would never answer that question. But I would really know, feet to fire, which of the two does Donovan most want to keep around?
He played much better with Allen last year than he did.
All
the numbers backed up. Their best pairings were Donovan and
Which is
Allen.
why I was saying Evan is expendable.
And you can and bar none, McNuggets can't lie to me. He understands this. Evan Mobley brings you back the biggest package, does it not?
Oh, without question.
That is a fact, correct.
Without question.
You get a whole nother tier of player. That little green bar on Madden is all the way up to the right because now you can sell them upside. And guess what? He looking at the stats. He might, Evan Mobley might not even be Jarrett Allen. Because last year, obviously, Allen was better than Mobley last year.
Yes. In my mind, he was.
All right, so maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now. I got the same type of memory that I have of Deshaun Watson. The last time Deshaun Watson left me with a football memory, it was a damn good one. So I'm holding on to that when the season started. The last time Evan Mobley left me, it was with damn good memories of, okay, this is what I believe Evan Mobley can be.
Well,
and
there
I
was
think
no
with the
Porzingis on the floor, though.
That's cool. But I think with the right coach and the right development, I still think he can reach his potential. I'm not down with trading Evan Mobley at all. But at the same time, I'm not down with keeping this core four together. And so, again, I know we're talking about Jarrett Allen, right? You know who I'm moving.
Bye-bye, Darius.
You know who I'm moving.
Yeah.
Like Mike is, he laid it out very well. He's kind of made his mind up. He can't move Darius Garland unless he get an all-star in return. To me, I want like a Cam Johnson type player, maybe some other role players, some guys like that, some draft picks back. But if I had to pick between the two, I'm moving Darius Garland.
I can't get draft picks back. I need players now.
That's the tough. Thank you. That's the tough spot the Cleveland Cavaliers are in. You guys do know that you're not in the mode of just wait and see and development.
No, window's open and it's closing.
All that core four stuff, that was cool and cute 3 years ago when you was just trying to get over LeBron and Kyrie leaving. Oh, that ship has sailed.
Sure.
We old now. We understand that Santa Claus is not real, and you got an opportunity with your window open today. Now, I got to look at it and say, if I'm going to trade these dudes, I need to get a bona fide ball player. I need ball players back.
Yeah.
And it's time for Koby Altman to fleece somebody. Look, I'm sorry. Look, the Guardians fleece people all the time. Andrew Barry makes his whole life off fleecing people. When is your fleecing coming? I'm looking for it.
You saying Kobe
we
ain't
got
got
fleeced.
Kobe ain't
We
got
got fleeced.
Now we need to fleece somebody.
It's funny that we're talking about this. So I did an interview for the Ultimate 216 show with Barbara Turner, assistant coach of the Atlanta Dream.
Yep.
And she was talking about, being a huge Cavs fan, and in her opinion, the Cavs should not break up the core four because she believes in 2 years they have not been given the opportunity to really grow. And we used the phrase like water in a garden. You have to continue to water your garden and let it flourish. If you look at the game 5 is tonight, and you look at the Boston Celtics, right?
It ends tonight.
And you look at the core of that team, they're just not reaching that pinnacle 6 years until this core being together.
I don't know about that.
So what I'm saying is, or what she was saying is basically, the proof is not really in the pudding yet, of the potential of this core four yet. Who's to say? But
she talked you into keeping Darius.
No, I was just giving you her opinion.
Shout out to her.
G. Bush, a coach is always going to say that. You know why?
They want their job.
They
It's
want their
job
job
security.
too. Yeah, not
Job
saying
security.
she's wrong or right, but a coach is always
You know
going
what
to
though,
preach patience.
Mike? That's a good point. I mean, they have a dog in the fight, but I agree with what she's saying. And I said this last week on the show about how Boston is now being rewarded for, and I know that their core pieces were here, and they added some really good pieces.
I mean,
in
they're
Drew
they're two starting
and
court.
Kristaps, but
They got two unicorn. They got listen. So the
I
most
know, they
valuable.
do.
They got the most valuable pieces. Wings that can shoot, that can switch, that can
Guards
do
that can play
everything.
two ways.
yeah,
So and they got two of them.
They got two
And that's the
two-way
biggest
guards.
difference.
It
is the
to
biggest
G's point, that
difference.
is the biggest difference.
it is.
So when you got two of them, they realize, all right, well, Marcus Smart, he's a defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
You got to go. They got rid of Robert Williams, right? What's the other?
Yeah, they traded Malcolm Brogdon and Robert
Yeah.
Williams for Drew Holiday.
And then
It worked out.
So they figured it out. Now my thing is, in a league, that's not how it works. You don't get an opportunity to figure it out. You better be tinkering because teams come out of nowhere, right?
See, we should have seen some growth last year.
Right.
That's my thing. We should have seen him messing around with different. The only success we had with I think alignment was when his hand was forced with injuries.
And he still
That's when it was like, oh, okay, this seems to work.
He should have been playing way more people. Like people always talk about you. I always go to the Imani Bates card, right? Here's what you should have been doing. You should be playing everybody and figuring out what you got. Because I need to find out. The Nuggets got good because Porter got good. They were like, oh, we'll take them late in the draft. They had back issues. Guess what? They knew they had Murray. They knew they had Joker. But guess what? They got Porter and they snuck up on it. It happens all the time. You got to find somebody. Like you look at the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves took a step. You know why? Because Ant turned into the unicorn.
He did.
So when you telling me about my unicorn, and I only see My Little Pony, that's not the same difference, right? Like
Yeah.
you saw that.
It's called a unicorn for a reason.
And then they got Cat. So Karl Anthony Towns, one of the best big men shooters, and the fact that he was a number 1 overall pick, you got to have layered multiple pieces. And I would tell Donovan Mitchell, listen, if you was on the playground and you had to pick and you had to pick, roll out with a 5, you taking his 5? He's not doing that. He understands not.
I just think we're trying to microwave something that belongs in the oven sometimes, right? Like especially like when it comes to things like Evan Mobley and stuff like that.
You mean rush it along?
Like rushing along, like this is a slow cook type of process. I mean, when we remove our emotions from the situation, especially looking at, last year, the year before that, on paper, yes, they got better. Did they meet the fans' expectations or our personal expectations? Hell no, they didn't. But when Koby Altman put this core together, he really, really believes that this core can go win the championship. You got 3 people who's made the All-Star team, another potential perennial All-Star in Evan Mobley on this roster. The problem is do the pieces fit? And Koby Altman he said it from jump. I'm not too sure if I want to break this thing up. And I've been trying to figure out since the season ended, does Koby have a type of faith that we can't see, or is he just insane? And I don't know which is which.
I listen, I'm trying to question, should I be listening to Koby Altman? Like, you should have been on that same package with JB as far as I'm concerned. You was on that same table, because guess what? You got him the ingredients. Let's just look at it. Now, look, if I'm JB, I'm sitting over here and I'm like, hold on, you gave me Max Strus to start at 3.
Yeah.
And I'm playing in a conference with Jason Tatum and guys like that.
No, he gave you Max Strus. He didn't tell you to play him at the 3.
But
you made that choice.
But here's the thing.
You made that choice. Because as a coach, you should have been watching him in Miami, seeing that he was a 2 guard.
The fact that you signed that
He
contract,
said, Koby, I need a shooter. He said, cool, I'm going to give you one. Koby didn't go down there and say, you got to play him at the 3.
He gave you George Niang, who's 6'5", and his name is Minivan.
It's his birthday. Happy birthday, George.
Happy birthday. Let that sink in. Let's keep it a buck. Like, come on. You started 6'1", 6'1", 6'3", and then was like, yeah, we ready to go. And you're like, no, that ain't it. Like you got the Cavs, and then here's all I will say. If the Cavs and everybody reach their full potential, right? Everybody get to where they're gonna be in Shangri-La. Everything is great. they're still not winning the championship. They don't have enough. They just don't. If Darius Garland is an all-star like he was, they still.
I agree with that.
I think they don't.
They're still missing pieces.
still ain't got it.
They definitely missing pieces, but I think part of the not enough is experience. They don't have enough experience. They don't have enough length. They don't have enough athleticism.
I know, but even when they're experienced, they're still not going to have enough length.
So, right, you ain't gonna grow 5 inches.
And where's the wing that we need?
Who's guarding Jason Tatum?
There's a piece missing, and the way you get the missing piece is to give up something, and you give up something that you have a surplus of. And when I look at Allen and Mobley, I think we have a surplus of something there. And so to get the player you need, you're going to have to give up something that you have an abundance of. And maybe it is Darius and not Jarrett or Evan. But I think to run it back here with the same core four and hope that the results are going to be different, you're defining insanity.
And not only is this going to happen, I'm going to just tell you this. I'm old enough to remember when LeBron James said he wasn't leaving the second time.
Yeah, I am too.
Don't act like y'all don't remember that. And on top of that, when it get tough, when these dudes start looking around and that guy didn't pan out like you thought he was, and then that draft pick didn't plan out, and you're hamstrung for draft picks, you don't control them, the cap situation is in purgatory, all of a sudden, I done seen too many people go and say, yeah, I know I just signed that contract,
Mike,
Jay.
I got a question for you.
I just signed that contract, Jay, but I got to go. I can't be doing this.
Right.
I got a question for you, brother, before we move on. Is there any scenario, is there any situation to where you can see a third ball handler on this team that will allow you to keep Darius and Spider on the court together to create more spacing situations?
Yeah. I mean, like a big play creating wing.
But if it's not a wing, though, like, could it be another guard?
Why would you wouldn't want it to be another
Because,
guard,
I'm just throwing out hypotheticals, right? Because G keeps saying, well, Max Strus was 6'3" playing small forward. He had no business being 6'3" playing small forward. But if you just got to roll with somebody 6'3", if it was another guard that can actually be a facilitator, would that work as well?
It'd be a...
You get destroyed on the defensive end.
It depends on the player, but there's a scenario where the Cavs decide to keep Darius and Donovan. And part of the issue this year was Ty Jerome, who, Earl, I know you loved coming into the season, who has size at the guard position and could defend a little bit, was just not available. And they had no size at the guard position whatsoever. So you find a bigger secondary guard who could be an off-ball or a secondary.
But that's not the ideal situation. The
It's not
ideal
ideal.
situation
It's
is get a
scenario.
wing.
Yeah, is there a scenario? Yeah, I guess there's a scenario where that could be an alternative solution. It's not option A, which is finding a playmaking wing. But playmaking wings are the hardest commodity in basketball to find. It is very easy to say, hey, we need a playmaking wing. It is not very easy.
What's LeBron going to do?
Jason Lloyd's here tomorrow. Text him. I don't know. That's not my guy.